Hi there, welcome to Meagan Makes Cupcakes. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a super decadent chocolate chip cookie dough cake. So stay tuned as I show you how to make it step by step. Alright, let's get started with the things we're going to need for our cake layers. First off, I'm using a chocolate cake mix, but you can use your favorite chocolate cake recipe as well. I have some vanilla, brown sugar, powdered sugar, butter, all-purpose flour, milk, and some mini chocolate chips. And the quantities for all these ingredients are down below. Let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to start out with some nice unsalted butter in the bowl, and we're just going to give that a nice mix like I've already done. And then we're just going to take the brown sugar and we're going to dump that in. Now we're just taking that powdered sugar. Now we're going to add in our flour. And then you're going to add in the milk. Taste test. Now we're just going to pour in our chocolate chips. We're just pouring these in. And I'm doing about half the bag, but you can add as much as you'd like. So now we're going to do this since we've made our cookie dough is we're just going to line that same pan that we used for our cakes with some saran wrap. And then we're just going to split the cookie dough frosting we made into 2 parts. And then when you're done with this, you're going to stick it in the freezer and you can plop it right on top of your cake layer. So it works really nicely. We're going to do this with our other layer and we're going to pop this in the freezer for around 15 minutes to harden. Now it's time to make the ganache for frosting our cake, and we're going to use equal weights of whipping cream and chocolate. So we're going to do 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream and we're going to do 16 ounces of chocolate chips. So that's going to be more than 1 bag of chocolate chips. We're going to weigh it all out. And I'm just using some really good quality chocolate chips here. This is the Guitar brand and I really like this, but you can use any brand that you prefer. So let's weigh out those 16 ounces and we'll get started. Cream. So I've heated up my 16 ounces of cream and you just barely missed it, but it was just bubbling around the edges, and that's what you want. You don't want it to boil, you just want it to start to kind of simmer. And then once it's to that point, you can take your equal parts of chocolate chips, and I'm just going to pour those in here. And now the fun part happens. I'm just using an immersion blender, but you could use a whisk or a spatula, whatever you prefer. Alright, you can see how smooth that is and how easy that is to do with an immersion blender. I love that. So now we've mixed our ganache, and either you can let this sit out at room temperature or you can pop it in the fridge for a quicker setup. Okay, so now we have our cake board set and ready to go, and I'm using an 8-inch round for my cake. And now we're just going to take some of that ganache that's cooled and we are going to put it on our cake board. So you can see this ganache is nice and spreadable, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want it too hard and we don't want it too soft, so this is the perfect in between. And now we're going to take one of our cake layers and just put it on the bottom here and get that nice and centered. Alright, and then we're just going to take some more of that ganache and we're going to do our first layer of ganache right here. And this is going to be the foundation that our chocolate chip frosting goes onto, so that's going to make a really delicious combination. Just smooth that out. Now we're going to take our cookie dough that we put in the freezer for around 15 to 20 minutes and we're going to take that out of the pan. And you can see it just makes this nice little disc. And we're just going to unwrap that from the top and then just push down on the edge and pull off the other side. We're going to take another layer of cake and put it on top of that. We're just gonna take some more of that delicious ganache. Just pile it on. Just try to level it out as straight as you can. Now we're just gonna place another layer of cookie dough on top of that cake. And then we're gonna do our last and final cake layer. Okay, so now we're gonna coat the top of the cake with a big pile of ganache, and that way we can spread the top out really smooth, and then anything that's left over we're just gonna push down the sides and smooth off the sides really well. And then the frosting that's kind of pushed up along the edge is gonna kind of tower over the top of the cake. And you just want to take either a bench scraper or an offset spatula and just pull that towards the center of the cake, all around the edges, just working it piece by piece. And then if you find any extra bumps, just smooth those out as well. So now we're just going to take some more of that cookie dough frosting. I made another half batch and I didn't use chocolate chips this time, just so they don't get jammed in the piping tip here. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to do some nice little rosettes on top, and we're going to do them right around the edges. And then you just do them, if you do them right across from each other, that way you know that you're nice and even. Now we're just going to take some little chocolate chips. Okay, now we're just going to sprinkle those right on top. And the moment that I've been waiting for has finally come. I'm going to take a bite of this delicious cake. This is everything I've dreamed of. I hope you guys will give this chocolate chip cookie dough cake a try. It is so delicious and it will definitely be a crowd pleaser wherever you go. And don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.